Today, joining us in conversation on Diplomatic Faces is the Iranian President's spouse, Professor Jamile Sadat Al-Muhada. A warm welcome to you, Professor, and hope you had a pleasant stay here in Sri Lanka. So, you are a role model to the women in aspiring your education. You become a lecturer, you have become a writer, a researcher, and also in 2001 you obtained your PhD degree in philosophy of education from the Shahid Beheshti University in Tehran. What are your experiences in education, research, and cultural activities? And if you can also enlighten us on the book you have written on the art of living femininely.
سلام عرض میکنم خدمت شما خدمت بینندگان عزیز شما خدمت
Hello and greetings to you all dear audiences. Greetings to the world and beloved people of Sri Lanka. I'm very pleased to have succeeded in meeting with the ladies, religious officials and scholars of religions in Sri Lanka. Of course, our stay here is very short and we don't have the opportunity to meet everyone. I am very thankful of you for this opportunity to talk with the noble people of Sri Lanka. Yes, I hold great respect for women's activities and their social functions, and I believe it is a historical necessity for women to also address their family issues and be engaged in raising their children while actively participating in society. However, I have attempted to examine the differences in perspectives that exist in this regard. In my opinion, most countries suffer from extremism concerning women's issues, either holding traditional views that confine women to the home and distance them from social activities, or on the other hand, there are extremist thoughts that lead to women shunning the household responsibilities, neglecting their family, home, children, and spouse, and engaging solely in professional activities available in their countries. In my view, both of these extremes are problematic, whether it's confining women to the home or shunning household responsibilities. For this reason, I strive to present a different perspective. This is not just my view alone, but in Iran, such a perspective has been promoted by the leader of the Iran Revolution and is known in our country as the third model, a model that is neither traditional nor modern, but is a third way that pays attention to both the home and family life and social life. I have attempted to portray the Islamic perspective, particularly that of the Quran, regarding the proper and balanced lifestyle for women. And truly, it seems to me that the feminine life is more of an art than a skill or raw thought. It is an art that involves both reflection and contemplation and requires very innovative and creative methods and approaches.
خانه و خانواده و زندگی اجتماعی هر دو رو مورد توجه قرار میده. این تلاش کردم توی این کتاب هم دیدگاه اسلام و به خصوص قرآن رو راجع به سبک زندگی درست و متعادل زنانه نشون بدم و واقعا به نظرم میرسه که زندگی زنانه بیشتر یه هنره تا یه مهارت یا تا یه فکر خام، بلکه یه هنری است که هم شامل تفکر و تعمق و تأمل میشه و هم به شیوه ها و روش های خیلی خیلی ابداعی و خلاقانه نیاز داره.
Also, in 2012, you became the dean of the university. In the Iranian perspective, what are your thoughts on women achieving in the areas of science and technological goals of a country?
ما در ایران از مرحله فکر کردن راجع به فعالیت‌های علمی زنان عبور کردیم و اینو واقعاً در عمل نشون دادیم که بانوان ایرانی عموماً علاقه دارن که تو حوزه‌های علم و فناوری فعالیت بکنن. حتی اونها علاقه‌شون به فعالیت.
In Iran, we have moved beyond merely considering women's involvement in scientific activities. We have demonstrated in practice that Iranian women generally exhibit a keen interest in engaging in scientific and technological fields. Their interests in cultural and scientific activities often surpass their interest in politics. The number of women in Iran interested in political affairs is not very high. For example, there are fewer women among our political figures in the parliament and government. This is partly attributed to the fact that Iranian women themselves may not be interested in politics. However, in our country, women often outperform men in nationwide university entrance exams, and the proportion of women to men in our universities is higher. Additionally, in subdisciplines, up to about 90% or more of women pursue education. This is partly due to women's interest and partly due to the support of men in the family. In most Iranian families, men provide for all the financial and livelihood matters of women and only expect them to study and engage in social and cultural activities. According to our legal rights, women can always pursue education, and if they have an income, it can be for themselves without the need to spend it on the family. Our laws allow this, and more importantly than the law, there is love within families. Most fathers want their daughters to study, and most men want their wives to study. Scientific environments are the healthiest environments for women to be in, and most families show a great interest in women being present in scientific environments and being less involved in riskier activities. Basically, if you become acquainted with Iran, Iran is a very cultural country, and women are also very interested in cultural and artistic activities. There is a much more important issue, and that is the enthusiasm, encouragement, and support of the authorities, especially the leader of the revolution, for women's cultural activities. He strongly encourages learning and education, and for this reason, it has been very well received. On the other hand, most Iranian men are interested in market activities and entrepreneurship, which has led to the observation that when someone enters Iran, they see more men engaged in business or political affairs, while most women are occupied with child rearing, teaching, and education. This has created a golden opportunity for Iranian women.
خیلی زیاده. ایشون خیلی ترغیب میکنن به علم آموزی و این موضوعی شده که خیلی مورد استقبال قرار گرفته و از اون طرف اکثر آقایان ایرانی به فعالیت‌های بازار و کسب و کار علاقه دارن و این خودش باعث شده که کسی که وارد ایران میشه میبینه که بیشتر آقایان مشغول کسب و کار یا امور سیاسی هستن و بیشتر خانم‌ها مشغول یا تربیت و معلمی و تحصیل و تدریس و اینها هستن و این یه فرصت طلایی برای خانم‌های ایرانی ایجاد کرده.
We also know that the Iranian government has been facing a lot of international sanctions for a long period of time. So how have these sanctions affected the daily lives of the citizens, and mainly how has it affected the women of your country?
تحریم‌های اقتصادی به هر حال مشکلات زیادی رو برای مردم ایجاد میکنه، ولی ما در طول تاریخ یاد گرفتیم که تحریم‌ها برامون یه فرصته، یعنی
Economic sanctions undoubtedly create many problems for people, but throughout history, we have learned that sanctions are an opportunity for us. We have a very famous Iranian saying, necessity is the mother of invention. Whenever there is a need, creativity emerges, and we can find a way to address it. Essentially, as an educational figure, I tell you that when everything is calm, nothing happens. When things are very smooth, people usually become lethargic. But when there is a need, people are compelled to move, and their creativity and talents come to the forefront. In my opinion, the reason for Iran's progress is partly due to sanctions, because although sanctions create problems, they compel people to take action, and especially women have become very active in this regard. Earlier today, the leader of the revolution reiterated in his speech that sanctions have a positive effect on us. They do not have a negative effect and don't provoke us unnecessarily. This sentiment resonates with our collective experience. Sanctions are imposed on us the more we innovate and find solutions. In numerous instances, particularly with nuclear sanctions being a prominent example, many scientists have thrived, leveraging their creativity, leading to our emergence as a major nuclear power. These sanctions have not halted our progress, induced a recession, or constrained us. I believe this is a valuable lesson that Iran has learned. Other countries in the region which have faced similar challenges to Iran over the years and have been pressured by more advanced nations have been unjustly denied opportunities for growth and development. They have the potential to follow a similar path. In fact, we are eager to share our experiences with neighboring countries and those facing similar circumstances, such as Sri Lanka. We wholeheartedly welcome Sri Lanka's aspirations for internal growth, be it economic or cultural. This would greatly benefit Sri Lanka, just as it would benefit our own country.
کشورهای اطراف خودمون و کشورهایی که شرایط مشابه ما دارن مثل سریلانکا این تجربه رو به اشتراک بگذاریم و به شدت استقبال میکنیم اگر کشور سریلانکا هم بخواد رشد درونزایی داشته باشه، رشد اقتصادی درونزا، رشد فرهنگی درونزا. این خیلی به نفع کشور شماست، همینطور که به نفع کشور ما هم هست.
And we know that Iran has a very rich cultural heritage and traditions. So like you mentioned, what more decisions or what more ways can you promote the cultural connection between the two countries and the people-to-people connections between the two countries?
من واقعا اشتراکات فرهنگی خیلی زیادی رو با کشور شما، مردم شما و مردم های این منطقه میبینم. ما به هر حال به عنوان کشورهای شهر
Iran shares many cultural affinities with Sri Lanka and the people of this region. As Eastern countries, we advocate spirituality and a life filled with peace, friendship, and ethics. On the other hand, we are weary and tired of the prevailing Western culture in our countries, which promotes conceit, selfishness, violence, and materialism. Therefore, together, we can strengthen this spiritual culture once again. Our country boasts a civilization dating back 15,000 years, and I am confident that Sri Lanka's cultural heritage is equally significant. With each other's assistance, these rich cultures can collaborate to refine civilizations that have been tainted by materialism, selfishness, and greed, exacerbating class differences, oppressing the poor, harming children and women, and hindering development. Often under the guise of developed nations, these cultures dictate standards of development to so-called undeveloped or developing countries. Many of these latter countries face challenges in spiritual discussions, which we can address together to introduce a more comprehensive concept of progress and evolution to societies. We have positive experiences in our country, and I am certain that you have good experiences as well. Through the exchange of information, cultural interactions, and joint activities, we can certainly establish new standards for global coexistence.
تفسیر بکنن و اجازه میدن که استانداردهای توسعه یافتگی رو خودشون تعیین بکنن. عموم این کشورها در بحث‌های معنوی دچار مشکلاتی هستند که ما میتونیم مفهوم توسعه و توسعه یافتگی رو به کمک هم تقویت بکنیم و معنای بهتر و کاملتری از پیشرفت و تکامل رو به جوامع معرفی بکنیم و تجربه های خوبی هم ما در این کشور داریم، در کشور خودمون داریم. مطمئنم شما هم تجربه های خوبی دارید و این تبادل اطلاعات، تبادل فرهنگی، فعالیت مشترک مردمی قطعاً به کمک همدیگه میتونیم ما استانداردهای جدیدی رو به دنیا معرفی بکنیم برای زندگی کردن.
So we come to the end of another segment of Diplomatic Faces, and I would like to take this opportunity to thank His Excellency Ibrahim Raziz and yourself and the government of Iran for all the support you have given Sri Lanka, and also all the very best for you and your family.